The courtroom air hung heavy with the scent of polished oak and stale coffee. "You'll walk away with nothing," my father snarled, stabbing a finger at my mother like she was dirt on his shoe. But I had other plans. Mom's fingers shook as she hovered over the divorce papers, her signature a fragile scrawl. Dad sat there in his crisp charcoal suit, silver cufflinks flashing under the harsh lights, his attorney smirking beside him. In the row behind, his girlfriend Sophia leaned forward, red lips curved in triumph. My grandmother, his mother, watched with icy disapproval, her diamond brooch catching every judgmental glance. I rose slowly in my crisp Marine Corps dress uniform, the weight of 2 months of secret work pressing against my chest. "Your Honor," I said, voice calm but firm, "may I approach the bench?" The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s with steel-gray hair, studied me for a beat, then nodded. I placed the plain manila envelope on her desk. It landed with a soft thud that echoed like a gunshot in the silent room. "These documents may clear up the discrepancies in my father's financial disclosures." Dad snorted. "This ought to be entertaining." The judge opened the envelope, scanned the pages. Her eyebrows rose. Then her lips twitched. A chuckle escaped, growing into a full, rich laugh that cut through the tension like sunlight. "Oh my," she murmured, eyes flicking to my father. "This changes everything." Dad's smug grin melted. Color drained from his face. Sophia shifted uncomfortably. Grandma clutched her handbag tighter. 10-minute recess, the judge announced, gavel cracking sharply. "Counsel remain available." As chairs scraped and whispers erupted, I stayed rooted in place, watching my father's confusion twist into fear. Under my breath, I whispered, "You never should have underestimated her." 2 months earlier, I never dreamed I'd be standing in that courtroom in uniform, fighting for the woman who raised me against the man I once idolized. I'd returned home to Ohio on emergency leave from deployment, expecting the warm chaos of family life. Instead, the house felt hollow. Faded patches marked where family photos once hung. Mom sat at the kitchen table surrounded by unopened bills, her once vibrant smile now a ghost. "You're home early," she said softly when I hugged her. She seemed smaller, frailer. Dad arrived late that night, reeking of scotch and designer cologne. He barely glanced at me before snapping at Mom about unpaid bills. No thanks, no warmth, just commands. Over the following days, the control revealed itself in cruel little ways. Labeled drawers for approved spending, scolding notes on receipts, a thermostat locked with tape. He invited his mother and Sophia to Sunday dinner. Sophia arrived dripping in confidence and expensive perfume, laughing too loudly at his jokes while Mom quietly served the meal. Grandma's barbed comments about Mom's cooking landed like tiny daggers. When Dad toasted new chapters, Mom whispered truth so faintly only I heard. That night, she admitted he'd consulted a lawyer, claiming she was unfit to manage finances. "He says I'll be taken care of," she murmured. I knew better. He was erasing her. I began quietly gathering proof. Public records showed a suspicious property transfer with a forged signature, dated when Mom had been visiting me at base in California, complete with time-stamped photos as alibi. Bank statements revealed steady siphoned funds from joint accounts into his private business, post-dating the divorce filing and violating court orders. I tracked down the notary, secured a sworn statement showing no ID verification for Mom. A family law attorney confirmed it painted a clear picture of fraud and financial misconduct. I compiled it all into that envelope with military precision. Timelines, copies, affidavits. No lies, just cold, irrefutable facts. The hardest part was pretending nothing had changed while Dad swaggered around convinced he held all the cards. Back in the courtroom after recess, the judge returned, expression serious yet satisfied. She looked directly at my father. "Mr. Harlan, the evidence presented reveals multiple irregularities, including apparent forgery and improper asset transfers after the automatic restraining order took effect. This court will not tolerate such conduct." Dad stammered. Sophia's face paled. Grandma looked stunned. The judge turned to Mom. Mrs. Harlan, based on the documentation, I am awarding you primary ownership of the marital home, full spousal support, and sanctions against the petitioner for bad faith actions. Mom's shoulders straightened for the first time in years. A single tear traced her cheek as she met my eyes across the room, grateful, proud, and free. As the gavel fell one final time, I allowed myself a small, fierce smile. Justice wasn't loud. It was quiet, documented, and unstoppable. Dad had built his empire on control and deception, but in the end, the truth, patiently gathered by the daughter he'd underestimated, proved far stronger.